The C8 Corvette blew us away with its poise and performance. But we knew GM was just scratching the surface of the potential for its new mid-engined architecture. Even as we were handing the Stingray Edmunds' top-rated sports car not once but twice, we were already eagerly anticipating this car. The fire-breathing Z06. You can check out our first look video with Editor-in-Chief Alistair Weaver to drill down on the specific differences between the Stingray and this Z06. But suffice it to say, it's all about track day supremacy. That's exactly why I jumped at Chevy's invite to head to Pittsburgh International Race Complex, aka Pit Race, helmet in hand. After a big breakfast and a chalk talk, we got behind the wheel. A bit of housekeeping as we set out on the full 2.78 mile 19-turn track. This fast, undulating circuit is one of the courses where Corvette engineers developed the Z06. In order to have us come to grip with this car's wild performance envelope, GM wisely started us out in the standard Z06. Even in base form, this is insane. You can already start to hear the new 5.5-liter flat plane crank V8 as I pull out of the pits. It's got a totally different character than the 6.2-liter small block in the Stingray. Now, I've had a lot of street and track time in Edmunds' long-term Stingray, and this car already feels very, very different. That's me following lead development engineer Aaron Link. I've got 2 laps directly behind him to study the course. This is the first time I've ever been here. And then another journalist is going to take the second spot and I'll filter back behind him. Even without the optional Z07 package's insane aero and super sticky tires, you can see we're already at a pretty good clip even before they let us out on our own for 7 or 8 laps. This new engine makes 670 horsepower, 670. But you've got to rev it to 6,300 RPM to get to its 460 pound-foot torque peak. That's a lot less torque than the old C7 supercharged Z06, but it's way too much fun to rev this engine up to its 8,600 RPM redline. This doesn't sound like any production Corvette anyone has ever heard. Even on this base Z06's Pilot Sport 4S tires, there's a ton of grip in the corners. This thing has 275 section front tires. That's 30 millimeters more than the Stingray. The backs are 345. 345! No surprise they needed to invest in some more unique bodywork than the old Z06 just to fit these 14-inch wide meats. Man, it's hard to capture on camera, but this track demands a lot of both car and driver. There are plenty of elevation changes, blind crests, and hidden apexes. Chevy has installed this quickest chicane on the back straight to keep us newcomers from, barreling into turn 16 at about 150 miles an hour. Some of these tricky sections are harmless fun, while others promise severe punishment if you get them wrong. So I appreciate that chicane and the lack of speed. Just this once. They're letting me run in any of the Z06's traction modes, but since I'm new to this course, I'm sticking with sport. And I should note that I am driving in track mode. Okay, they've checker flagged our first session. This time in the Z07 package cars. These specific cars feature optional carbon fiber wheels that are 41 pounds lighter across all 4 of them. That's huge. And speaking of huge carbon things, check out those brakes. At 15.7 inches up front and 15.4 out back, these carbon ceramic brakes are the biggest ones they've ever fitted to any production Corvette. I immediately noticed the lighter carbon fiber wheels and the super sticky Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R tires with only a slight turn of the wheel exiting pit lane. It may sound a little strange, but it really is that obvious. I can also feel that the Magnaride suspension has been retuned. There's excellent body control, so much so that I became confident enough to really ride Pit Race's curves at speed. Stability is confidence, and this Z07 package has it in spades. Chevy says the Z07 Pack's additional aero makes 734 pounds of downforce at 186 miles an hour, and I'm going to take their word for it, as I can't reach that speed here, but I can take advantage of all that grip. Just listen to that engine. This thing really breathes well at high RPM thanks to its trick intake manifold and dual throttle bodies. Inside that engine, it's a hot rodder's dream of forged lightweight internals, and it sounds absolutely wicked. Alright, this is going to be my lap commentary at pit race. Charge over this little bit of curve. ESC light flickering again. And now we're into the area where we're just about to come to one of the scariest corners on the track. It's a quick right, it's coming up here, blind turn in, turn farther than you need to, maintenance throttle, get on the curb and then floor it. That's the pit straight right in front of you, so don't lift, flat out all the way through here. Watch that speed. This is that quick chicane on the back straight. Go through that. Thanks for putting that in, because this corner would probably be 145 miles an hour if they didn't put it there. Braking for the last turn, again, a late turn in. Just kiss the curb on the exit, watch the throttle so that you don't get ESC intervention, and just floor it. Just wind it out. Listen to that thing. ESC triggering a little bit, no big deal. That's it. Now I'm going to shut up for one lap and let you hear the Z06 for yourself. This was recorded with the Corvette onboard PDR, the Performance Data Recorder. Okay, it's pretty obvious that I left a lot of speed on the table through most of those corners, but that's not the Z06's fault. It's communicative, it's stable and responsive to every input. I just didn't want to be the one to wad up a perfectly good Z06 over driving a tough track that I've only just met. The Z06 is very much the 911 GT3 to the Stingray's 911. It's a giant leap forward from an already impressive sports car. A special shout out to Corvette's performance traction management. I can't think of a better system for all levels of drivers. I really want to get this Z06 out on public roads for a good flogging to get the full measure of this car, but heavy Pennsylvania rain and semi-slick Cup 2R tires meant it was just not gonna be. At a starting price of right around $107,000, the base Z06 is hardly cheap, but it is an outstanding value. To make the most of it, I'd opt for the Z07 package. Plus, I'd splurge on the carbon brakes, carbon wheels, and the aero package that comes along with the Z07 package. Oh, and I'd add the competition bucket seats too.